Hey, how's everybody doing today? Hey, how's everybody? Okay, I have quite a bit of latency, probably close to 10 seconds. So if I don't catch up with you guys in chat, I'll do my best. But if you're here watching, welcome. If you don't mind, type a greeting in the chat so I know you're there, I know where you're watching from, and that the chat is working. So as you can see, today we're going to build the TT-02 Type-SRX live here on my stream. And I'll try to stream about an hour and a half, 2 hours. And I'll see if I can, at the very least, build up to step 9, which are 2 propeller shaft and both of the differentials, and put them into the chassis. I'm hoping that's something I can accomplish. All right, let's see. Hey, Whittier, California. Awesome, Sergio. Welcome. I am very close to you. Not very close. Not driving distance. I mean, not walking distance close, but I'm in Southern California as well. Awesome. Hey, it's a little bit cut off. Let me stretch this over. Isogen, nice. Awesome. I'm working on my custom TT-02R now as well. Greetings from US. I'm here in Southern California, just like I was telling Sergio. Welcome. So, yeah, this is probably like my 7th TT-02 kits. I started from, you know, the standard TT-02, and I just got more and more interested. I bought the RR, and then I tried the TT-02B, and I just, the more you build with the TT-02, kind of the more you understand it, and then you kind of just keep wanting to buy more. So I'm up to the SRX. I have built the SR before. It's on my channel. There's a build series. But I sold it right after I built it, and I kind of regret doing that. So when I saw that they were coming out with an SRX, I knew I had to have it. And I knew I had to build it again. So, welcome. Django's RC Adventures. Hi from the UK. Awesome. All right. So, let's get started. Let's see where we are. Let's see. I mean, if you guys built a TT-02 before, you know it's all the same, pretty much. There's going to be a few more bits and be a little bit different parts from like the standard TT-02. I'll try to point them out. But, you know, it's still a TT-02. So step 1 is always to charge the battery, but, you know, it's 2023. Nobody uses those trickle chargers anymore. Everybody has a LiPo charger, so we can ignore that. So we're going to need all the parts from bag A. So let's do that. That's in the B. Oh wow! I didn't know there was a TT-02 BS. I'm looking for the B. I'm looking forward to the BR. I will try to buy that after I'm done with this one. That looks interesting to me as well. I just like to compare what each variant, like a trim level, has. So there's only one diff. I think the front is front spool. Yeah, it is. Okay, because I only saw one gasket. All right, so let's see where we are. So this is the 68 tooth spur gear, and it looks like this kit comes with the high-speed gear set now. Let's see. Let's see what we have here. Yep. High-speed gear set. If you don't know what I'm talking about, if you had a standard TT-02, this would be the kit 54500. It comes with a aluminum spur gear holder, so you can have different size spur gears. And as a matter of fact, this is for the TT-02 Subaru that I'm going to start putting hop-up parts on. I also got the 64 tooth spur gear 51356, and I also have the 28, 29 tooth pinion gear. So you know I'm going to try to gear this thing and make not this car, the Subaru a lot faster. Multiple TT-02. Oh, okay, okay. It's like there's a TT-02 BS I didn't know about. Awesome. Let's see. Current TT-02R has a custom CF drive shaft I made. Wow. Working on shocks now. Planning to do some speed runs with it. Awesome. How are you building the drive shaft? Is it CNC? I don't know what CF is. Is it I'm sure it's a material, probably. So you have your own lathes and mills, stuff like that too. But that's awesome, man. If you have pictures of that, or share your social media or YouTube channel, I'd be happy to check it out. TT-02 cars and Hotshot 2 buggy last week. Awesome, man. Sergio, that's awesome. Maybe if there's ever a Tamiya meet here in Southern California, we'll have a meetup. Actually, in May, Tamiya Championship Series is coming to the second one in Southern California, coming to my home track, Revelation Raceway, here in Montclair, Ontario. So, yeah, that's going to be a cool event. I missed the one in Orange County 2 weeks ago, but I'll definitely go to the one here in Montclair, Ontario. So, enough talking. Let's get started. We're going to be right here, MA3 screws with the spur gear holder, and I forgot if this is reversible. It is. I mean, it's not. This side has the notch. So we just need to line up those screw holes like that. And the screw's going to come on top, and I'm pretty sure there's 4 button heads, so going to be these right there. I have the parts tray, but I have some stuff from the last build. All right, sir. Oh, you did go. Awesome. I went 2 years ago, and it was fun. I mean, I can't stay anywhere for the whole day. Did you race, Sergio? Oh yeah, Tony Fallon's a nice guy. I met him as well. I even like in the very beginning of RC for me, I saw his he's Competition Itch, right? I'm just trying to remember. Make sure I'm telling the correct story. Was he the MC of the event? So we're just going to put 4 screws. And we're not going to tighten everything yet. Oops. Where's that fourth one? If you're new to Tamiya kits, the manual is actually printed to scale. So if you're wondering if you have the correct screw size, you can just put it on top of the manual and take a look. Carbon fiber, right. From Yasu with the custom 3D printed ends to mount. Wow. That's awesome. Carbon fiber is everything, huh? So I assume carbon fiber is going to be even lighter and stronger than the aluminum? Is that the reason why you decided to go that route? I'm curious if it's going to be an aftermarket part one day. Just a CF carbon fiber drive shaft and drive cups. That'll be awesome. Alright, so there we are. So we have the two propeller joints, and let me just make sure they are the same. Yep, looks like it. And we're going to need the bearings. And this kit, hallelujah, comes with bearings. These are just the regular seal bearings, I think it's called. I like the rubber sealed bearings. Not that I, do anything crazy with them. I just kind of like them. I like the look of that either blue or black rubber seal. So that's that. I think I have the right one. Alright, so slip that on there, and then we're going to need MA9, which is going to be this right here. Want to go to the next race in Revelation? Yeah, nice. I'll meet you there. I won't be there all day, though. I can't stay in that anywhere for the whole day. I think last time I started like at 8, and like by noon, I just couldn't stay anymore. I had to go have lunch and stuff, so I left. And I think it went to like 5 or 6 o'clock because there were just so many racers. Especially in the Euro truck class. I think there were probably two or three mains. There's like a B and C main. There were just that many drivers for that class. It's such a popular class. Funny thing was, somebody got caught cheating. His I forget, was his motor or ESC something, but there was a problem. No, this is not it. There was a problem with one of his electronics, and he got disqualified. The first qualifier, he couldn't even race. It was a little bit embarrassing for him. Oh, we need the pin here. Mainly decided to go with it, basically take off the slack compared to the kit one. Drive shaft on the ARMA limiters. Ah, nice. Yeah. I still haven't bought an ARMA yet. I have a lot of RC cars, and I've just never pulled the trigger on an ARMA. I don't think this is the right size pin. Let me double check. There are 2 pins here. No, this ain't. I'm sure they're wonderful. I'm sure people swear by them. My only impression, first-hand impression of ARMAs are from racing two-wheel drive buggies back when OCRC was still open. And I was racing in the rookie class. And an ARMA Typhon, is that what it's called? The buggy thing? Was just so clunky, and it felt so dangerous being on the same track as that car because it was just slamming everything. And it felt like if I had the P5M at the time. I felt like if it landed on me, my car would break in half. So that was my impression of the Armas. And okay, there it is. That's the correct pin, because these are too big. So there is the first tip right there. The correct pin size for the propeller shaft is the one in this bag where the gasket was. Alright, so there's the pin. Yep, where'd it go? Where'd that thing go? Where did the shaft go? I can already tell this is going to be a lot slower than building it on. Alright, there we go. So if you have the correct pin, it should seat all the way down. Like that. And we're supposed to put a little bit of grease there. So let's do that first. And today I'm not using the Tamiya grease. I don't like that stuff. I think this kit actually comes with a moly grease. And everywhere I read, it says moly grease is bad for plastic, so I don't know why it's included. So I'm using silicone grease. This is just my preference. Silicone is safe on plastics. And it feels less greasy than the other greases. So this is Super Lube. So this is what that is right there. So I'm using this. All right, we need the bearing on the other side. And we need this GB1 gear. So let's see. It could be this one. It could be this one. Let's see. So Limitless, have you seen the So I belong to, I don't want to say I belong. I joined a RC Discord server. RC World, probably one of the largest Discord servers for RC. And I met somebody who is from the UK, and he has unique access to some of the factories over there in China. And he was supposed to get a evaluation sample as a YouTuber as well. But he hasn't received it yet, so it's a shame. But a shout out to China Expat RC channel. Check that out. He's really knowledgeable about Relarlo. He did a video series on the buggy, I think. And so he's waiting for his AK-917. My thought is that so far nobody even come close to the posted speeds. And from what I understand, in the AK-917 Facebook group managed by Relarlo, people are posting their speeds and they're disabling comments because I think people are just talking trash. That it's not coming close. I still haven't seen anybody come close. I think the closest the highest I've seen is like 80 something miles per hour. That's about it. Or is it 80 something kilometers per hour? I don't remember. One of the bigger YouTuber channels. So this is something new. This is the first time I've encountered this There is this plastic, I don't know what to call it, Y3. So it's kind of like a cuff. Let's cut this out, take a look at it. All right. Let's see, where's the shaft? Here we go. By the way, I'm waiting to debut my Tamiya car stand. I love this thing. I just bought it 2 days ago. When we're building the diff, I'm going to pull this out for sure. So this little cuff, there's holes on each side, and it's going to slip over the dog bone. So this is something new. This is the first time I've seen this. So I'm assuming it's going to allow for a better connection between the shaft and the cup there. So I don't know if you can see that. Is there a close-up? I'm gonna zoom. I forgot I have another camera. Hold on. I can see that. Well, focus. So anyway, so that's what that looks like. So that's the cuff that is going to slip on to the end of the shaft. And like I said, this is the first time I've seen this. It's pretty neat. I doubt the RTR version will come close. Yeah, I mean, I saw the different different ones you can buy, and I looked at it. I was like, if I'm gonna buy it, which I'm not a speed run guy. I would buy the roller and just put my own electronics in. It's gonna need. I'm just going to guess. It's gonna need different gearing. I know it comes with extra gears, like the high-speed gears and stuff like that. But I have a feeling it's not going to be enough. I have a feeling it needs to be just some ridiculous setup that very few people are going to be able to afford. Probably going to need a giant motor, maybe like 6S, before you'll even get close to, I think they said 200 kilometers plus per hour. You know, I'm American, so I don't know what that is in miles per hour. In freedom units, I don't know exactly what the equivalent is. Alright, so let's do the other end, and it's just going to be the same, except there's going to be 2 bearings on this side. Hey, so I had this idea just this morning to kind of build up my TT-02 community. So I was wondering if you guys, as you know, TT-02 enthusiasts, would be willing to share your builds, pictures and details, what hop-ups you have, you know, what you normally do with your TT-02. You do speed runs, you bash, you drift, you know, whatever. You know, so I do have a website that I have never built. I have the domain name, I have the software behind it. I just never used it because it's a blog website, and I would be the only one that can generate content. I just didn't have time. So I thought perhaps we can crowdsource the content and everybody just share their everybody share their TT-02 build, and we can have this like this community of different builds, what everybody else is doing with their cars, and you know, just have a good group of people that are all interested in TT-02 and share their experiences, their knowledge. Hopefully we can get some help groups in there as well. So it's a long-term project, but would you guys be willing to share your build? Just a couple of pictures, maybe share, you know, what your gearing is, what hop-ups you have, and I'll try to make it as streamlined as possible, where it'll only take you maybe, you know, 5 minutes at the most to upload your build and your information. So let me know if that's something you guys would be willing to participate in. So I don't think I missed any steps here, so I think I'm done. So that's that. Okay, now we're ready to drop this in. And this side, I've built this 1,000 times, but I still get confused. Excuse me. So this is the back side. This compartment here is for this spare gear, and there's 2 bearings here up here, and so it's going to rest into this notch and that notch, and this bearing is going to be right here, so we just need to line it up. So one is forward, one is back, so it should be like that. Wouldn't mind doing that. I should post on Reddit. Yeah, cool. Get a sip. Awesome. We're half an hour in and I'm only on step 4. This is not good. So I'm okay. Let's put this on and then we'll move on to the next step, and that is D2. Should be this one. Yep. So D2 is that piece right there. Alright, and then we're going to set this on to here to cover this bearing. And you can see the same notches down there. And so we need 2 screws, MA1s. Let's see, it's going to be a pretty, it's a 10mm screw, so it should be this one. I've never seen this before, but this is the first time. They're asking for you to use this tap, and I don't know, tap the holes. You know, all the other kits that I've ever built were already, you know, ready to go, but this is the first time I've seen this, and I don't have a tap today, so I'm just going to have to wing it. That's interesting, but I think this tool is like $20. So I'm not going to go that route. I think I'll just go on Amazon and find a M3 tap, or maybe even a set, because that's a single-use tool for $20. I can get a whole kit from M1 to M8 for like 15 bucks. So I'm not buying that, Tamiya. Much as I like Tamiya tools, doesn't seem like a good deal to me. All right. Okay. So how many of you guys are here? This is a curiosity because nobody else is streaming RC car builds. Are you here to learn how to build a kit? I'm just curious. Actually, that's not true. I did see another channel on Twitch that was streaming car builds. And I did that on Twitch for a little while, maybe 4 or 5 streams. It's on my channel somewhere. But I just couldn't gain any traction, and it was just felt very clunky. It automatically imported the VOD into YouTube, but the quality was terrible. So I decided to just stream on YouTube exclusively. I already have a viewer base here. I already have you guys and the subs. So I thought it would be just easier to reach more people. All right, let's build the front spool, the direct coupling. So I'm gonna guess it's this gear right here. Ring gear. Let's see, note direction. So it's gonna be this way. I'm pretty sure it's this one. And then we need this. I think this is like a $12 hop-up if you want this. I think I put this in the TT-02 RR once upon a time. But if you have a standard TT-02 and you want to lock up your front or give yourself an LDS, all you have to do is put putty in it or a foam earplug. I think that's the trick. In the background while doing the same thing. All right, awesome. So you're building a TT-02 in the back. That's cool. Yeah, let's see. So we're gonna put this on before we put the axle ring and the cup on. So that's cool. Just want to make sure. Yes. Okay. So right here, usually this would be printed here, but oh, they're saying prep it. Okay. So right here, we need those screws, and I think they were these ones. Yep. So one of the biggest tips for building pretty much any RC car kit, but especially Tamiya car kits, is to use the correct screws. Really pay attention to what you're doing, especially on a more expensive variant like the SRX. On the TT-02, if you use a M3 8mm instead of an M3 10mm, probably wouldn't matter. But I think there's going to be tighter tolerance here. So let's see. It's awesome I can have an audience kind of do this along with me. That's cool. And let me just double check if this is correct. It is. And it's asking for this AG, which is threadlock. And did the same thing on the XV02 build. Instead of using that tube of I think it came with a tube of threadlock, I'm not sure, but this is the one I'm using. It's the threadlock blue gel. You know, we're all familiar with the Loctite blue, and it's very watery, and every time I use it I get it all over the place, so I got this gel instead. So I think we're supposed to put it on the screws. if you're watching this after the fact, and you're wondering where to find this, I will leave a link to my Amazon storefront, and you can find everything there, all my recommendations, all the tools I used, all the gels, lubes, oils, even the kits. And if you buy something using my affiliate link, it helps support the channel, so I would appreciate it. Speaking of supporting the channel, if you haven't done so already, a like, a share, subscribe, a comment would be awesome if you're watching. Tell your friends there's some guy on YouTube building a TT-02 live. Come check it out. Click that like button, click that subscribe button. Doesn't cost you anything. And it'll help me tremendously, help me grow my channel, and help me advance my hobby here and share with more people, which is the aim. And I think that's kind of the that's kind of the purpose of my channel. I don't want to know if that's the correct word. As you notice, I don't do too much driving. I don't do any awesome stunts. I haven't raced in a couple years since the pandemic started. So it's mostly build videos. And I do that. I make videos like this, and I make it in such detail that I want to bring more people into the hobby. I want to bring somebody, who is interested in RC cars. Of course, they can just go buy an RTR, of course. But if they're kind of the tinkerer and likes to build things, I want to help as many people get into the hobby as I can. These kits aren't hard to build, but if it's your first one, it may be intimidating, and I just want to kind of demystify building RC car kits, because there isn't much to it. If you can hold a screwdriver, I think you can do this. There are some, best practice, like what I'm doing right now. You don't want to screw one screw all the way down and then do this one, and you want to kind of slowly alternate, go across and then go to the side, and then just slowly tighten everything until it's tight. And that's the proper way to screw this down. Alright, so those 4 screws are in. Let's do that. So these, I don't remember if this was in the SR. This was in the XV02. So if you're not familiar with this, this is the axle ring. So this ring is going to do is it's going to capture that pin that is going to lock in this drive cup. So the pin's going to go there, and if we don't capture it, it's going to fall out. So that's what this ring is for. So you pick one of the holes, and there's a bend there, and you just want to put that in and kind of slip it over a little bit, but not seat it all the way. There's an entire groove that goes around. You don't want to seat it all the way, because then you're not going to be able to get the pin in. So since I put the bend in this hole, I'm going to have to put the pins on the side holes adjacent to it. So there we go. And this is probably going to be that pin I first used. Alright, so hard for me to see. Build last year. Watch all 6 videos. Oh yeah, cool man. Thank you. Thanks for the feedback. Appreciate it. Oh, was it the Subaru? Hey, Big Ass. I didn't see you there. Awesome. Yeah, I finally checked out your videos last night. It's a cool build. If you just built that last year and you have all those hop-ups already, man, that's awesome. So the trick is to take a screwdriver. I'll use this one. And to kind of turn it. And just kind of push it up. Ah. I had trouble with this on the XV2 as well. I'm pretty sure I have arthritis or something, because I always have trouble with anything that needs a lot of like hand strength. Like ball ends and stuff like that, I always have trouble. I almost got it. Ah. Uh-oh. Did I click something? Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that, guys. I have the mouse here. Sorry. I had the mouse here and I dropped something on it and it clicked. Sorry about that, guys. Darn it. I'll be more careful. I just can't get this. All right. I have to go back and watch my own videos and see how I did it last time. Ah, there it goes. So just use a screwdriver and push it up. It should look like that. I need to put this mouse somewhere else so I don't click it again. All right. There we go. No, the stream won't end that quickly, no. I put a lot of prep work into this. I'm gonna try to finish at least up to step 9. This is a new camera, by the way. The stream last week when I recorded was it 2 weeks ago? When I recorded the unboxing video was so disappointing. The quality was so disappointing. I finally decided to just get a new oh, and I forgot the bearing. I just decided to get a new camera. So make sure you put the bearing in before, otherwise you have to take it out like I'm doing right now. Which is going to be a pain. As big a pain as putting it back. Putting it in. Gosh, maybe I shouldn't talk so much. I should just focus on building. I'm messing up here. Having a lot of trouble. Alright, well, I'll get it out. No problem. Don't worry. If I have to do it off camera, I'll do it later. But let's continue our build here. Okay, there we go. And the same thing. And it's going to be this way. So the XV02 was probably one of the harder Tamiya kits that I have built. And I don't mean that in a negative way. But it's definitely a lot more challenging than a TT-02. And it's definitely an intermediate level car. If it's your first RC car kit, I definitely wouldn't recommend it. But with that being said, I feel like it's a much better car than the XV01. I didn't even drive the XV01 because I just didn't like the battery compartment, and I didn't want to deal with it after the fact, because the battery compartment is under the car, kind of like the old 80s style battery compartment. And I thought that was just ridiculous. I was like, I don't know when this car was made. I think in the 90s or even, in the 2000s, and it has the bottom battery compartment. I thought that was ridiculous. So I don't think I haven't taken it out yet because I didn't want to deal with the dirt and stuff. Let's see. I guess it's this bearing. Again, really helped with the build last year. Build was in October. Used the car a lot. Yeah, I mean that's part of the fun of RC, right? It's sometimes it's frustrating, but learning about your car and fixing it is part of the fun. And one of the first cars that I had the confidence to start wrenching on was a two-wheel drive Slash. And I don't know how many wheel hubs I broke before I started stocking them in my, at home, just so that when I break one, and I kept them in my toolbox. When I break one, I already have a replacement. All right, so after messing up a couple times, this is what it should look like. And of course, I didn't put the lube into the pin, but that's okay. We'll figure that out later. I don't think it needs it all that badly. So I think I'm done with step 5. All right, so this is going to be the front, and note the direction. It's going to sit in here like this. We are going to close it up now, so this is the time I would put the grease in. I don't like to have the grease just hanging around. Because I know myself, and I will get the grease all over the place. So I only apply the grease when I'm ready to close it up. You guys follow me on Instagram by any chance? So I've been kind of wondering, because TT-01 came out in 2003. TT-02 came out in 2013. And so I was wondering if Tamiya was going to release a TT-03 this year. And I was speculating what it's going to look like. And when I built the XV02, and I looked at the tub chassis, I looked at the layout, I was like, this is cool. This is kind of like a quantum leap for Tamiya. You know, center diff, mid-motor design. You know, this is stuff that you find in four-wheel drive buggies like Team Associated. I was like, this is cool. And then I looked at that kind of polygonal tub chassis. I'm like, you know what? That looks a lot like a TT-02. Just the layout's different. So yesterday, and you can check it out in my Instagram. Yesterday, I took off the springs off the dampers, and I put touring car tires onto the XV02. And I sat it down, and it looked exactly like a touring car. It looked exactly like what a TT-03 could be. And that would be awesome. To have a new layout, to have a new TT series. Looking forward to all the parts and aftermarket and see what everybody can do. Because the wheelbase is 257, just like a touring car. I think it needs like smaller, like shorter damper stays, and obviously touring car dampers. Instead of those like 80 millimeter dampers, needs to go down 55, so it needs lower damper stays, front and back. But it's so easy to turn it into a touring car. All right, so that's that. We can close it up, and it's going to be MA1. So I am recording this, and I plan on, slicing out the build and kind of putting out the regular build videos. I don't know how I'm going to cut out all this talking I'm doing. Or maybe I'll just do a voiceover. ASMR version of the build. I don't know, we'll figure it out. But I like this format. I like being interactive. I would totally like a TT. Yeah, I'm ready for it. I'm totally ready for it. But yeah, it won't be as entry level as a TT-02 and a TT-01 though. Actually, TT-02 is the easiest to build right now. I didn't like the TT-01. I didn't like the diff. Especially diff covers where you have to hold it up like this too. I didn't like it. This is so much easier. Everything is on top. You can just leave it on the table, close it up like I'm doing right now. You don't have to hold anything in awkward positions. I mean, there's easier kits to build than this, obviously. I think the comical series is going to be easier than this, but I mean, this is as entry level as it. Yikes. I can't just. I can't just drill down on it because my hand will be in the way. Do you guys like Kyoshos at all? Phaser, the FW06. Any Kyosho fans here? I'm not afraid to admit that I'm also a fan of Kyosho. I have quite a few Kyosho cars. Not as many as Tamiya cars, but I do have a few. TT-03 needs to be a really good kit similar to XV02. It'd be good. I'm looking for another car to build. Another car. It depends what you want to do. If you want to stay with Tamiya, there's plenty. That's certainly valid. If you want to keep building TT-02s, then go with like this kit. But if you already have two TT-02s and you want to do something different, with the Datsun 240 Z. Oh, yeah, that's a cool looking body. Kyosho America Instagram account put out a picture of the FW06, and I commented. I said, "That's cool and all, but they're never in stock. The FW06 cars are never in stock." And it would be cool if there was a FW06 chassis kit, and maybe even a rally conversion, just like the Phaser. And lo and behold, they already have the FW06 chassis kit. It arrived at my local hobby store already. So I kind of got put my mouth in it. I mean, put my foot in my mouth. They already kind of beat me to the idea. That's awesome that there's a chassis kit. But anyway, so back to recommending a car. Let me think. So, are you looking for on-road or off-road big ass? You want to stay with Tamiya? You want something a little bit different? Okay, now we're going to start building diffs. So here's the diff body. And I built this already with the XV02. So this should be reasonably intuitive. So when we're building a diff, there's a lot of parts here, right? But don't be intimidated. You just have to follow the sequence. So we just need to find this gear, GB2, which is this one right here. Let's cut that out. And it's important when you're cutting these gears out that you really smooth out the edge. You don't want to have any spurs, especially on a gear like this. If you have any spurs here on the side, it may spin out of balance, and then, it's just not going to be very efficient. So you want to make sure that it's nice and smooth. All right, and like I said, we're just going to follow a sequence from the bottom up. So we have the bearing, we have the drive cup here. We have the bearing, and this is not the correct bearing. It's there's only two bearings left. This is the correct bearing. Do I have the correct drive? Oh, okay, this is the correct bearing. It seats over here. A few buggies, YouTube, and it started peak my interest. Oh, buggy. I mean, there's always the TT-02B, but if you want another Tamiya buggy, I've only built the more entry-level ones, like the Grasshopper 2, but I think those, you're not going to get much satisfaction from those. I think you're going to want something kind of mid-tier, like Hotshot, I think it's called. I have never built one of those, so I do not know. But I know Kyosho has some cool buggies. Tomahawk. Whatever you do, though, try to get a 4-wheel drive buggy. You're gonna be so much happier if you have a 4-wheel drive than a 2-wheel drive. So after that rubber O-ring, we're going to go with this MA10 washer, which is this right here. And then there's an MA11 washer, which is going to be this little shim right here. I mean, if you've built a Tamiya diff before, you know that normally there isn't this many steps. And it's really only the last two kits that came out that have this sophisticated and nice of a diff. I mean, you got shims. The tolerance should be pretty good. I haven't tried it yet. So there's a pin here, and again, we need to make sure it's the correct pin. So this is going to be that smaller pin. I think. Yes. So nothing more frustrating than trying to push a pin through a shaft here and be using the wrong pin and it's too big. And I've done that many times. Blockhead, yes. I have one. I haven't built it yet. It's very collectible, so I don't have the heart to build it. I've seen builds of it. I've seen pictures of it. It looks really cool. I mean, I've seen driving videos of it. It looks really cool, but I just don't have the heart to break mine open. It's sitting in storage at the moment, and it's probably going to stay there. And again, I'm having a lot of trouble with this. I think I don't want to use this, but I think I have to. Yeah, that's why I don't like to use tweezers. I thought I wouldn't have any trouble doing this. Because this side is not inside the diff body, and I can see the hole. And I'm still having trouble. Actually, let's do this. Let's make sure I have the correct pin. And I do. So, what is going on? RC kicks do a blockhead build. It's quite nice. Definitely more in depth. Yeah, it is. I'm sure. Kyosho, I think it's the Optima. I think it's that one. That has kind of like the similar feel, similar layout. Has an aluminum chassis. It's super cool. I've already committed to being a Tamiya channel. I did build a lot before I kind of settled in, if you notice. I'm probably going to just end up being a TT-02 channel, if anything. If I can get this shaft through, otherwise I'm not qualified to be a TT-02 channel. So if I'm going to build a Kyosho, it's going to be on my own time. I don't think I want to do that to my audience. Okay, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble with this. I don't know what is going on. Let's see. Maybe these are two different lengths. Let's see. No, they're exactly the same. Okay, I just have to keep persevering. I have the right bearing. Let me see if I can push this bearing in a little bit more. No. I think it's the last shim. I think it's this shim right there. I think it's that one. That is really giving me a hard time. RC Kicks, another huge channel. What's the biggest RC car channel right now? Is it RC Spark still? Is it Kevin Talbot? I haven't really paid attention. Surprisingly, I don't watch too many RC car videos. Primarily. And I made a shim disappear. Primarily because I don't want to absorb anybody else's opinions about a car. I don't want to hear, you know, somebody say A, B, and C is good and E, F, and G, I mean D, E, F is bad. And then when I go to build a kit, and I'll have this bias towards those opinions. I don't want to agree with anybody. I don't want to disagree with anybody. I just want to come up with my own opinions about it. Build a car. I don't know if that makes sense. So I'm going to try this. I'm going to lay this pin down flat into that groove, and I'm going to line up the hole, and I'm just going to try to wiggle it in with both hands. Will it help if you've already tuned out? I don't blame you. Because I wasn't anticipating having this much trouble. I don't think it's this one, but maybe it is. Yeah, this one doesn't even go through the hole, so it's not this one. And just let me double check. Yeah, Tamiya, what's going on? Why is this so difficult? I don't know if you can see that, but the hole, I'm only seeing maybe like 90% of the hole. So that's kind of why I'm having so much trouble with this right now. Three-quarters of the stream is going to be me trying to put this pin through, and that's not good. Is it the right shim? I don't see anything else here that would fit. So that's MA10, that's 11. Yeah, I mean, it's a good call, but I think I have the right shim. It's just, it feels like the tolerances are off. I have the right gear, but I don't know if you can see. I don't see the entire hole. I see maybe 90% of it. That's it. And it just won't even start to go in. It won't even capture the pin, and then I can push it in. It just won't. Not getting it in there. Just as I said that. Alright, let's see. I got it in, but I can't push it. Let me line this up so it's flat. See, it's at an angle because you can't see the whole hole. Maybe it's intentional, maybe it's not. Maybe I just got a bad kit. Oh, there we go. Jesus Christ. Wow. Thank you for your patience. My goodness. I can't even push this right now. It is that tight. Oh, Jesus. I'm afraid to do this. I mean, it's... Can you see it's kind of depressing the shim there? Yeah, that shim is actually being bent by this pin, but hey. That's the tolerance they were going for. Let's see. So now we need GV2. I'm not looking forward to the other side where I have to put the pin in. This one. Inside the cup. I'm not looking forward to that. So I need this gear, GV2. I think it's in this one right here. Hey everybody that's watching, welcome to my stream. I'm building this Tamiya TT-02 Type-SRX. I'm having some difficulty with it. So far it's been a little bit of me not paying attention and a little bit of the build tolerance of this kit. And I don't think I've ever said that about a Tamiya kit before. But yeah, I'm straddling the camera, by the way. It's like right in front of me. All right. There we go. And then we're going to put the gasket on, and the gasket is... It was here. Where did I put it? YouTube streamer loses gasket and loses his mind. And ends stream prematurely because he loses his mind. There we go. Okay, we're finally done with that part. So again, I'm gonna start with the bearing. This is going to be freaking impossible if it's the same tolerance. Yeah, I shouldn't have any slop, but it's not. It's almost impossible. Only by the grace of God was I able to do that. Alright. I will see how the stream goes today. How much I get done. And I might stream again tomorrow morning. I don't have anything to do until the afternoon tomorrow. So I might stream again because I want to build this whole kit on stream. Instead of just making individual videos. So it might take me 3 or 4 weeks to finish this kit. But that's kind of what I want to do. I want to share this with you guys live. Alright, this one is even worse than the other one. Oh, brother. I can see even less of the hole. Now, let's make sure I have the correct pin. It should be this one. And just let me double check. No. I don't see any more pins here, which is not a good thing. This is the last pin. Tamiya, what are you doing to me? Where did I go wrong? This is the only pin left, and it doesn't feel like it's the correct size. The only other pin before this was for the spur gear, I think. And that didn't fit. But I do have a feeling it is the spur gear one. Oh, it does fit. All right, there you go. Don't do what I did. Yeah, I'm doing this on purpose, actually. That's right. I am building this kit wrong on purpose to show you guys what not to do. Yeah, that's it. That's exactly what I'm doing. But it happens. I have trouble with kits all the time. So this is the correct pin. What body should I get for me doing the speed run with mine? The GT body, just not sure which to choose. Depends what style of car you like. I mean, if you want a Mercedes, you want the Ford GT. I like the Raikiri. I bought a second one for this car already. I had the Raikiri on the TT-02 RR. After I sold that, I kind of regretted selling it. So I bought the Raikiri again for this kit. But yeah, the Subaru body is great. It's a good looking body, but it's just not as aerodynamic as a GT body. So I would definitely choose a style that you like. It definitely needs to have a spoiler. So that's, if you ever try to drive a passenger car body on a track, you will soon realize how unstable it is without a spoiler. So if you're going to do any kind of speed run or any kind of track racing, you pretty much have to have a spoiler on your body. So the last time I did this, I lined up the pin with that. And let me get some goggles. Of course, it's nowhere near me when I need it. There it is. Okay, and we have the magnifying goggles. Yeah, the AMG is a good-looking body. If you're partial to European cars, that would be a great one. There's also the Nissan Nismo, the black and red one, I think. There is the McLaren. That's a good-looking body. NSX. And the Ford GT. Yeah, there's some really good Tamiya body choices. So these goggles are great, and I can actually see the pinhole now. So, I need a pair of tweezers that have like rubber tips or something, so it doesn't do that. I don't know if that exists or not. Tamiya, seriously, these tolerances are just too much. I mean, for Christ's sakes. I'd like to think I know what I'm doing, and I'm having a heck of a time doing this. I can see the hole, I can line it up, and I have it in a little bit, but I just can't push it through. Maybe I should build really simple kits on stream, not torture myself. Maybe on stream I should only build like standard TT-02s without the oil diffs. And man, at least there's only one diff. If I had to do this twice, I'd probably have to end the stream and come back tomorrow. Oh, yay, I did it. All right. If you're able to do it, it should look like that. I don't think I could have done that without the goggles. All right. Let's see. And we need that gear again. How are you all doing? Hey, like a woof. Where are you watching from, buddy? Thanks for joining us. Thanks for watching the stream. Wow, I've been going at this for an hour and a half already. This is easier than talking for an hour and a half, like the last 2 weeks streams. This is a lot easier. Look at this thing. Look how beautiful this thing is. It's just so beautiful, this car stand. It's very nice. I'm very happy I found it and I bought it. All right, let's do that. So this one is going to be the gears. Is this metal or plastic? I can't tell. I think it's metal. So we're going to need these gears. And think I'll pick up a TT-02 kit to fool around with. To fool around with besides my Vortex. Oh yeah. You'll find that it's pretty similar layout, right? It's going to be battery compartment, mid-motor, spur gear here, and electronics over here. It's pretty much, yeah, it's going to be this pretty much the same layout as the Vortex. Oh, and I'm watching from the East Coast, U.S. Nice. I'm here in Southern California. Beautiful day outside. I'm happy you guys are joining me. Appreciate the time and the companionship while I build this. So TT-02s are probably one of the easier, I don't want to say the easiest, but one of the easier kits to build. So yeah, for sure, you can't go wrong buying a TT-02. And it's very rewarding. There's a lot of aftermarket parts, as Big Gaz can testify. So you're going to have a lot of fun installing hop-ups. It's not those two grooves. It's the big grooves. Okay. So I think after you build the car, that's just the beginning. You have so many more options after the fact. You can change out the arms. You can change out, you know, the aluminum drive shafts. You can change out the spur gear. You can make it go faster. You can make it handle better. There's so many things you can do with the TT-02. Let's see, gears here. Nice. It's been raining for the past few. Yeah. Oh, we had so much rain here in Southern California. It's crazy how much. I don't remember the last time we had this much rain. I've lived here for 40 years, I think. Yeah, I don't remember ever having this much rain. We had floods everywhere. We had people literally stranded in the mountains. Couldn't get food, couldn't get out, no electricity. It was like a prepper's dream come true, you know? Up in the mountains, Big Bear. So we're going to put these shims. Yep. So there's a flat side, and we're going to kind of couple them together. Let's see. I think I got it. So it should look like that. And let's spin this. Yep. So is it working properly? It's pretty neat how that works. Okay, I didn't forget any shims, so now it's time to fill that up. So we're going to fill this up just above these shafts right here. So make sure you get the main compartment. And make sure you get some behind those gears. And just give it a moment to settle. So Leica, do you bash with your Fortec, or do you do any kind of racing? You do speed runs, or what do you do with your Fortec? And what do you want to build the TT-02 for? Do you want to bash it? You want to race it? You want to, you know, just have a good time with it? What do you have in mind? So this part's a little bit tricky because we have to make sure this gasket doesn't fall out. So we need to line up those 4 screw holes with those right there. And the gasket, of course. And the gear doesn't fall out like that. But I think I got it regardless. Yeah, I think good graces, it lined up when I fell. So we need these flathead screws, which are these right here. And this is going to be an M1.5. So we need the other hex wrench. Hey, Big Gaz. Big Gaz. I don't know if you saw the video, but I compared the TT-02 Rally, the Subaru, to the XV02. And it got me thinking, because I didn't do the video where I was comparing the builds. With a brushless setup, the XV02 is going to be over $600. Which, there's a lot of other things I would rather buy with $600. A lot of other kits. So I'm going to try to put together a build for the Subaru instead, to kind of, I don't think it's going to be as good as the XV02, but to kind of, you know, give it run for its money, with some interesting hop-ups. And one of the things I'm going to do is I bought 65mm, but I think it needs to go even more. Dampers for the TT-02, and that will give me just a little bit more ground clearance. So what I did was, I have a TT-02T, the truck, and that chassis has they're actually 100mm dampers, so they're quite long dampers. And I, you know, put the Subaru wheels on it, and I sat the Subaru body on it, and it looks just like a slightly higher rally version of the TT-02. And I got 4 more millimeters of ground clearance. So instead of 13, I got 17 millimeters. The XV02 is 21. Never raced before. I tend to just bash when I have the time. Yeah, you know what? I'm right there with you. Like that's why I have a building channel, and that's why hardly ever see me go outside and drive anymore. Oh, same thing. Go across and then diagonal. Get into VTA, but nowhere around here my state does it. And okay. Yeah, we have at my local track we do have a VTA class. It's not exclusively Tamiya, and so it's quite competitive. Frankly, every class is competitive at my local track. Even the beginner class is competitive because people don't want to graduate. People don't want to go to sportsman or the next level. They just stay in the beginner class, you know, with their x-rays and tire warmers and June C chargers, and they are lapping some beginners. And I don't see the point in that. If you're good enough, you should move on. Let other people enjoy themselves. You win by 5 laps is not going to, you know, make you a better driver. It's not. It's going to be funny, actually, that you don't want to move on. Let's see. Okay, so again, we need to make sure we put the diff in the right direction. You don't want to put it in this direction. You want to make sure it's in the right direction. And now we'll put some lube on there. And there's supposed to be lube on the spur gear as well, but I'm going to wait until I'm ready to close it up. So here we go. In case you're just joining me, I'm not using the Tamiya grease. I am using Super Lube. Super Lube? Yeah, Super Lube. This is silicone. And I have these plastic syringes, and it makes applying lube a lot easier. And there's a lot there. Let's see. I don't even mind getting on my fingers because it's not that greasy. Now we need the diff cover. I would give racing a try. Whatever class you guys have there, because it's so much fun. And it's not about winning or losing or, you know, placing first, third, or whatever. You really just racing yourself, and you're learning about your car. You know, speaking like you said, you like wrenching on them, building them. There's no better way to learn about how your car works and how to improve it by racing. And this is not going in for some reason. I am just having all kinds of trouble today with this kit. What the heck is going on? The bearings are in. Okay, there we go. Man, the tolerances, big as the tolerances on this kit is another level. I've never had a TT-02 that is this. I mean, Jesus, this is. There's a little bit of slop here, but there's nothing back here. But that's spool anyway. Okay, so let's close this up. And it looks like I'll be able to get to the motor. I'll do it anyway, but I think I'm still trying to decide on the electronics for this kit. Oops. Anybody have any fun plans for the afternoon? I myself might go down to Micro Center. I don't know if you guys know what Micro Center is. I don't think they have it in the UK, but it's a computer store. It's kind of like Fry's. It's kind of pretty much a new Fry's, and I'm looking for a new gaming keyboard later on. And while I'm there, I'm going to check out what other webcam or lighting or anything like that they have for streaming. I'd like streaming to be a bigger and bigger part of my channel, because for me it's a lot more efficient, and I can still put out the content that I want to put out, which are the build videos. And I can post-produce these videos kind of at my leisure, because the build is already on the live the VOD, so people can still find help building this kit. And then I can take my time. You know, like today, I'm going to probably finish the motor as well. So this would actually be like 2, maybe even 3 videos. Like one video on the propeller shaft, and then one video on the front and rear diff, and then a third video on the motor mount. So in one sitting, about 2 hours or so, I can film 3 videos, rather than just making one video, stop, doing post-production, cut it up, editing, and then uploading. I can just go back and do this at my leisure. Because I want to... The important thing for me is to show people how to do it in a timely manner. I always get kits too late. Like the XV02, I got it way too late. But I still put it out there. You know, it's in like an archive. My channel is kind of like an archive. 10 years from now, you pick up a TT-02 kit or XV02, and that's possible. There's some XV01 still out there, and you're looking to build it. I want my channels to show my videos to show up and help you build it 10 years from now. Let's see what you said. Like, oh, and Big Gaz. Let's see. XV02 kit here is here in the UK is $320. A lot of money for a chassis kit. Not sure if I want to spend that kind of money, but build it. Absolutely, it absolutely. It's an interesting build. It's a lot more difficult. It's actually more difficult than this, because you have the center diff. There's a lot more going on with the XV02, and there's nothing wrong with expensive kits. It was $351 here in the United States, probably a little bit less than what the pound costs, I think, after conversion. But if you include decent electronics, you're, like I said, I put it up to about $650. Because it doesn't come with the body. It has nothing. It has no servo, no ESC, no motor. So you got to buy all that stuff, and just think about how much that's going to cost. I put together a reasonable build with a low profile servo, which you need, by the way. Brushless system, and pretty much a cheapest Tamiya rally body. And it came out to around $650. And that's not including tax. So it'd be closer to like $710. I'm here in California. Tax here is very high. So that's out of reach for a lot of people. So that's why I want to kind of work on the TT-02. Starting at 130. The Subaru kit's 130. Comes with a motor and ESC. With just a few things that hopefully will be maybe another $100 or $150 in hop-ups. You know, you can get that car to a much better place than it was out of the box. So that's going to be like the next build series that I'm going to work on. I love that Subaru, that rally. I'm just really into rally right now. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to. I bought some hop-ups already. It's on its way. I'm still trying to decide on electronics if I want to just go with a cheap brushless system, or a better ESC, maybe a 3S battery, and maybe even switch over to the Sports Tune motor and see how much that's going to be, and see how much performance I can get out of it. I'm going to raise the car a little bit to get a little bit more ground clearance. You know, I'm going to have oil-filled shocks instead of the friction ones. Yeah, there's a lot in the steering. I'm going to improve the steering as well. There's a lot going on that I'm preparing for, which I'm looking forward to. I've been eyeing the TT-02 for a while. I think the Type-SRX might be the one for me. Hex screws on them now. It is not the first. I think the last generation also used hex. And of course the TRF, the higher end Tamiya kits do use hex screws. Yeah, this is if you want a TT-02, this is right now the highest end TT-02. But I'm still kind of disappointed that it doesn't have aluminum dampers. It's still plastic. It's oil filled, but it's still plastic, which is kind of disappointing. So I have some aftermarket ones I'm going to swap. I'm going to build this kit as in, follow the manual 100%, then I'll do some hop-ups. Alright, so let's talk about the motor and the motor mount. So, for right now, I plan on making this a spec class chassis, spec class build. 17.5, no timing. So I have the Just Stock ESC and the Hobbywing Just Stock 17.5 turn motor. So this is what I have in mind right at the moment. If I decide I really want to try something new, I've seen some other brushless systems that I want to try. Maybe a sensorless system. But this pair is my go-to for pretty much all touring cars that I'm going to put on the track. This is the most reliable, most consistent pair of electronics. You know, I like to try something from like much more, or actually I have a Reedy set as well, but the Reedy stuff is out of stock right now. The fixed timing stuff is out of stock. So yeah, this is the setup I'm going to go with. I pulled this out of, I think, the Kyosho phaser after I took it brushless. I took this out and I sold the phaser. I got the Challenger and it has a longer wheelbase than the other ones, and I realized that's a mistake. I need the regular wheelbase, 257 wheelbase phaser. So these are the aluminum body dampers I'm going to use. These are Racing cutest dampers. Quick adjust, so rather than having to take it apart to change pistons and change settings, you can actually turn this and get different setups. So that's interesting that I'm going to use that. So let's go ahead and go to this aluminum motor plate here. And it's not bag B yet. Let's see. I hope that's aluminum. D9. It's not aluminum. Yikes. It's still this one. I'm disappointed. Huh. I think the RR had the aluminum one. Alright, there's another part I have to buy, because if I'm going brushless, this definitely needs to be an aluminum motor mount. Alrighty. I'm disappointed again, Tamiya. I'm hoping for more aluminum bits. So if you look carefully, there are numbers associated with each of these holes. And it starts with 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And this corresponds to the pinion gear that you're going to use. And the pinion gear that came with this kit looks like it's a MA14 is a 27. So for 27, you would flip it over. and it will start. Gosh, I can't see anything. 25, 26, this would be 27. Am I holding the wrong? No, this is the correct one. Note attachment position. Matching motor mount. I don't know what I should do because it says to use the 20, this one and this one, but this is a 27 tooth pinion. So I don't know what to do. Oh, crap. Alright guys, I'm really sorry about that. I am really sorry. I need to stop doing that. Okay, I'm going to put the mouse here on the desk. I am so sorry, guys. Oh, brother. I'm just talking to myself this whole time. So, I was saying that with this brushless motor, the kit comes with a 27 tooth pinion gear. This motor mount, which is not aluminum, which is kind of disappointing, goes up to 25. So technically it should be this hole and this hole. But the manual is saying it should be these two. So I'm a little conflicted and I don't know what to do. But since I said I'm going to build it according to the manual, that's exactly what I'll do, I guess. I'm going to pick these two holes right here and mount it right here. Thank you, because sorry about that. I'm still working on my setup. I'll get better, I promise. I promise I will keep improving my stream. That's not the correct screw. I want to bring the best possible content possible to you guys, to my audience who spend their time with me. I want to make sure that the video and audio quality is good and that I am entertaining, interactive with you guys. I'm not one of the silent channels. There's nothing wrong with those. I just not an ASMR guy. But I do find kind of the clicking between plastic. I find it kind of soothing sometimes. So I want to make sure the motor is on tight, like that. And the motor, all the motor shafts have a flat spot, if you didn't know that. And it's going to match up with that grub screw hole right there, like that. So first thing we're going to do is to put on the grub screw. And it should be this silver thing right here. It's usually 1.5 unless you have a 5mm shaft. So you want to pre-thread this just a little bit. And then I have the flat part pointed straight up. And so does it say? So we're supposed to leave 10mm. gap between the motor mount and the top of the pinion. So let's do my best. I hope I didn't lose too many viewers. Again, doing that. Showing my stream was ending. So that's 9.68. Let's bump it out just like a scooch. That's pretty close. I think that's close enough. I can make adjustments later. So if you're pretty confident this is going to be your permanent setup, you can put a little bit of Loctite in that screw. But I know I always change stuff around. So actually, I know for sure I'm going to change the pinion gear later. So I'm not going to put any Loctite there just yet. So we're going to mount the motor into the chassis. So there's two holes there. It's going to match with those two on the chassis. And there's a groove here for the sides of the motor mount. Like that. And then we're going to flip it over and put the two screws right there. And those screws are going to be MA1s. So these are a little bit longer than the ones for the motor. So we just have to make sure have the right screws. I'm not sure about that one. Yep. All right. So here we go. All the tools I use in my videos and streams are recommended in my Amazon storefront. You will find the link once I finish the stream. I will post it there. And so it looks like this was correct because the gear mesh is pretty good. So I'm glad I just followed the manual. I do need to bump the pinion back just a little bit to line up with the spur gear. So I'm glad I just followed the manual. So let's just move this. All right. Very cool. Should look like that. And now let's put the cover on. And the cover is D3, which should be this right here. So there is a website called RC Racer. So when I was starting out, trying to learn as much as I can about the TT-02 and how to get it up to, how to make it go faster, how to get it to become more of a race car. I went to that blog, I went to that website, and I learned a lot. And there's a lot of great information there about what hop-ups to use, what his recommendations for setup is. So definitely check out that site if you're interested in the TT-02. Again, I'll try to put a link in the description. And this is not fitting perfectly for some reason. Oops. Don't want to force this down, but okay. I want to make sure it's not grinding the cover. If you're going to do any serious racing, you would pretty much cut this off. Cut it right there. And you can actually get a, you would go actually across here. You can get a bigger pinion gear, even bigger than this one, to accommodate. So we really only need to hold down this bearing right here for this whole thing to work and not fall out. So you can actually kind of cut this where you want to cut it, but I'm not going to do that. I will just try to build it like the manual says. And again, these are going to be MA1s. They're all MA1s. So these are all should be MA1s right now. Yeah, like I said, anybody have any interesting plans for the afternoon? I don't think I do. It really just depends what happened. Hey, I might go to the hobby shop though. Is anybody going to the hobby shop after later today? And if you are, what are you looking for? Do you go to the hobby shop just to hang out like I do sometimes? Do you need to buy anything? It's supposed to keep raining here, so probably stay inside. Oh no, that's a shame. That's a shame. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's a battery post here and here that we need to screw in from the bottom. And so let's, where did I put it? So my hobby store is also the track, so I can go there. Maybe do a little driving, you know, have a chat with some other guy. And the track is, there's two tracks there. There's a 8th scale off-road track and there's a on-road track. So there are big 8th scale nitro buggies and truggies flying around there. It's quite a bit of fun watching. Alright, so there's that. There's the spur gear cover. Let's go ahead and put in the 2 battery posts. And those are going to be B2. Another thing, I gotta head off now. It's just 7 p.m. here. Off to work in a minute. Alright, thank you. You work in the evenings. Have a good day at work. Have a good shift. And thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for commenting on my videos, and I end up finding your channel, which is awesome. I'm glad we can talk about common interests. Maybe we can collaborate one day. I don't know. We'll figure something out. But thanks for stopping by. Okay, so these are going to be here. And here. And there's one screw. Tony's and Revelation and Pegasus. There's 3 near me. Tony's is obviously one of my favorites. But the one I call my home track is Revelation Raceway. I buy most of my stuff there. And I definitely buy all the Tamiya stuff there because the owner is kind of like me. We're about, I think we're about the same age. Maybe I'm a little bit younger. But we came from that 80s Tamiya Grasshopper era of RC, and so we have a lot in common. We talk about Tamiya kits, talk about which ones are collectible. So that's where I buy all my Tamiya stuff from. I ordered this kit from him. It's not available online, but I still like buying from him. So that's where I got this kit. And I'll do the same with the TT-02 BR. Tony's it's a great hobby shop. They don't have as much Tamiya stuff. They kind of just stock the standard TT-02s. They got some big trucks over there, though. There's some huge trucks. You know, the, what do you call it? The Clodbuster, and then they have the semi trucks as well over there. But they're big on, you know, the bashers and crawlers. Actually, they have a great crawler shop there. They have a lot of scale accessories. That's a great hobby shop as well. And then if you ever need something for your on-road stuff, even bodies or dampers or, you know, motors, whatever you need, servos, the store pretty close to it, Super G, they're not open all the time. You got to check their hours. It's a drift track and hobby shop, so they have a lot of on-road accessories. I just went there a couple weeks ago, and I bought the servo I'm going to use for this build. So this is the Power Hobby R12. We'll look at the specs when we install this, but this is probably one of the best value servos out there in terms of performance and price. So we'll look at that later. And so that's 3, right? Pegasus is another hobby shop. Pegasus is also big on the bashers and the crawlers. Tamiya, Kyosho, it's a little bit of an afterthought. It's like at the end of the aisle, so I don't really buy too much there in terms of Tamiya. They don't stock parts, I don't believe, for Tamiya. And if I really want to drive all the way over to Lomita, there's Pacific Coast Hobbies. That's a Tamiya shop. There's a gentleman named, I forgot his name, but they do stock Tamiya parts, and you can actually have a chat with somebody over there about Tamiya. They have quite a few Tamiya kits over there. It's up on the top shelf right behind the counter. I think I bought the TT-02B from them, the Plasma Edge from them a couple years ago. It's quite a bit of drive for me, so I don't go there all the time. I may make another trip because they stock much more electronics, the brand much more, and I really, really, really want to try a Fleta system. So I may make a run down there. And speaking of hobby shops, a brand new one just opened near my house, and I went there on Friday. Yeah, that's a drive for me too. It's all the way like in Torrance, Palos Verdes. Yes, that area. So there used to be a on-road carpet track here in Inland Empire in Chino Hills, called TQRC Racing. And it was a track for a very long time, and then right before the pandemic, they closed the track and just became a hobby shop, to downsize, because that was a big space to hold a track. And then the pandemic hit, and he had to kind of go virtual. He only had the website, no more physical shop. And I just kept ordering online from him, keep in touch. He was in the same city as me, so it was pretty relatively affordable shipping. And then just last Thursday, I got an email from them, the regular email blast, saying the new retail store is open. So Friday, I couldn't get there fast enough. I had to go check it out. And I did. It's still a small shop. He's still working on it. He's still kind of stocking the shelves. But it's going to be another great resource for me out in Chino Hills. So if you want to look it up, it's TQRC Racing. So if you're in the Inland Empire and you're into on-road racing in cars, they stock 3 Racing. They stock Tamiya. Racing. They have a lot of Racing hop-ups. So that's definitely going to be a store I'm going to frequent. And I was actually his very, very first customer. I went there on Friday like at 11. They open at 10. And he told me, you're the first customer I've ever had at the store. I was the first one to use his credit card machine. So I was honored to be the first customer. So definitely go check out that store if you get a chance to go in that direction. And there are 4 screws. Oh, those are the mount screws. All right. So that's it. I don't actually think on my local body shop carry Tamiya stuff. It's mainly low C axial. Yeah, I mean that's pretty common. Like Tamiya is it's a niche. I mean, it's very mainstream, but it's still kind of not for everybody. I don't think some of the RC guys even consider Tamiya as an RC brand. They kind of turn their nose on. Oh, those are toys. And if you look at the grasshoppers and all those other older generation RC kits, for sure they are a little closer to toy grade than they are hobby grade. So I mean, you wouldn't take a grasshopper on the track and try to race 110. That would be silly. But Tamiya has its own cult following, and if nothing else, I can build an entire channel off Tamiya itself. And there's others who've done that. And I actually think I can build a channel just from the TT-02. Just build this car and hop up this car and this kit, do different things with it. It's sustainable for an entire channel. So that's how strong the following is for Tamiya. It's a shame your shop doesn't stock it. Maybe you can suggest to them. They're buying from Horizon anyway for their low C stuff and the Axio stuff. All the brands you name there except Traxxas is all Horizon Hobby, and Horizon Hobby stocks Tamiya. So I think if you ask them, hey, would you be able to get me this TT-02 kit? I'm sure they can order it for you. They'll be happy to order it for you. And they may even stock some in the future. Off the 60 and 57 freeway. Yep, that's pretty close to where I am. No, if you're talking about the TQ Racing, it's off the 71 and 60. So 60 past Pomona, 71 south, and you exit Grand, I think. Yeah, it's off Grand. Right in that intersection, behind the McDonald's and stuff. So go check it out. It's in the old... That plaza started as an old medical plaza. Supposed to be filled with doctors. And the senior center behind it. but it didn't work out. So it's become mostly retail, and it's actually become quite a few interesting stores. There's a lot of restaurants there, so you can make a day of it. And then you can hop over to Revelation Raceway and then hop over to Pegasus while you're here. If you're driving all the way from Whittier, you might as well. Make a day of it. If I drive to Lomita, I'm going to go to the beach, I think. Is it close to the beach? It's a long drive. But I'm definitely going to buy something. If I drive all the way to Lomita to Pacific Coast, I'm going to buy something. I may even call ahead and tell them to hold something for me, just in case. And they'll do that for you. They're very nice over there. I think most hobby shops would do that for you, to hold something for you if you really need it. I think that's important, to have good customer service at a local hobby shop. It hasn't always been that way. Back in the 90s, I forgot what it was called, Hobby Shack or something like that. I remember going there, and everybody just turned their nose down at you. Didn't really want to help you. But now, all the experiences I have, Ultimate Hobby in Orange County, all the other hobby shops, everyone I go to, they're just the nicest people. Really, want to help you. And I think that's a credit to the RC community and the hobby itself. It just creates so much camaraderie that people are willing to help each other. And that's kind of the premise of this channel, is to help people come into the hobby. So I'm grateful I can do this. Hopefully I can do this until I retire, or help me retire by doing this. Probably have another 15 years to go. I hope YouTube's still around in 15 years. Hope I'm still around in 15 years. To just keep building kits. Hopefully by then it'll be TT-03, maybe even a TT-04 by then. But I'm looking forward to it. I enjoy streaming and building these kits live. Speaking of which, I'm going to call it right here today, because we're getting to bag B, and it's a good stopping point. What's coming next is the suspension. It has nothing to do with the drivetrain, so it's a good stopping point. So I think I'm going to stream again tomorrow morning, starting at 9 o'clock Pacific. I may not go as long as I did today. I may try to do an hour and a half, 2 hours, but I will continue. And I think tomorrow I should be able to get all of these suspension done. And probably get, at least, if nothing else, the front axles installed. I can probably get all the way to step 20. Let's see where the next breakpoint is. I may even be able to get to step 24 because, oh no, there's turnbuckles. I hate turnbuckles. But I think I can do it. So, yeah, I think I'm going to call it here. I'm going to go have lunch. What would you say are some things you would upgrade out of the box of type besides the dampers? Well, I would definitely change out the plastic motor plate. Definitely go with aluminum. I'd go with the Tamiya part, aluminum. If you don't like the spool front, you can get another oil diff. It's just a different driving experience. It does come with a lot of the neat things that you want in a race car. But the biggest thing is the dampers. You definitely want some aluminum dampers with a little bit more adjustability, a little bit more tuning. Other than that, you're getting what you pay for. Or you need to buy tires. I haven't decided. I have to go to the track and buy the tires and ask them what tires I should get. I might just get pre-glued. Yeah, that's pretty much it. In terms of what other hop-ups. I mean, it has turnbuckles pretty much everywhere, so you don't need to upgrade those. You already have the universals. Yeah, really the only weakness is the dampers. Yeah, I mean, as you can see, everything here was already aluminum except the motor mount. Oh, if you're going brushless, I showed it in the beginning. I am going to change the spur gear to the 64 and the pinion gear to 29 so I can get it to the lowest possible gear ratio. FDR for the TT-02. It's 3 point something, I think. I did that with the TT-02 RR, and that thing was fun to drive. It was quite quick on its feet. It's competitive. And I'm going to do that again with this car. I'm going to get a smaller spur gear and a bigger pinion gear. And really, that's pretty much all I would do for now. After I put it on a track, I could probably tell you more. I might strip some weight and go with the aluminum skid plate bumper mount. There's a few aluminum bits that you can do to shed weight. Oh, like I might do this, and I'll show you. This is up in the air. I may do this with the Subaru first, but I might go with a shorty battery and put the ESC here. And I didn't invent this. I didn't come up with this. It's well documented that people use a shorty battery, or you know, when they go brushless, they use either the batteries that uses the 4mm, because these are just better batteries than the ones you find, you know, the regular LiPos. This is 50C. This is 110C. This is 130C. These are left over from my racing days, so I would love to use this for this car, so I can move the electronics over here. I can still get, you know, I still have a very balanced car, and I have more room for electronics. So that's another thing I would do. I might do for this car, but I'll probably do it to the Subaru first. This car, like I said, I'm going to build it as is, as the manual says, as an archive, as a documentation of the build, and then I'll put hop-ups in and change it later, just like I did with this. I'm doing with the Subaru. Yeah. I hope that answers your question. All right, guys. Thank you for joining me this morning. Thanks for watching. And like I said, I will try to be back tomorrow morning at around the same time, and I'll try to get through the suspension and the uprights. So I'm going to end it right here. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. Be safe. Go to your local hobby shop. Go spend some money or build your kits. So you guys have a good day. I'm going to sign off. I'll see you guys tomorrow.